If your cat hasn't looked out a real window in years, their brain may already be changing in ways you can't see. Music, you kept them safe indoors. That part was the right call. But here's what almost nobody tells you. A window isn't just glass and light for your cat. It's the single biggest source of mental stimulation they have left. And when that view disappears, blocked by furniture, curtains, blinds, or just a room with no window at all, something starts happening inside their brain that most owners never connect to the real cause. Today we're breaking down exactly what 5 years of zero window access does to your cat's mind, stage by stage. And the final stage is the one almost no vet gets asked about. Let's get into it. 1. The sensory shutdown begins almost immediately. Here's something most owners don't realize. A cat's brain didn't evolve for 4 walls. It evolved for constant environmental scanning, tracking movement, sound, changing light, potential prey, potential threats. A window is the cheapest, easiest way your cat gets that input without you doing anything. Take it away, and the shutdown starts fast, not after years. Veterinary behaviorists call this sensory deprivation, and it's a documented driver of stress in confined animals. Within weeks of losing consistent visual stimulation, a cat's baseline arousal system starts recalibrating. Without birds, cars, leaves, or people to track, the brain simply has less to process. And a brain with less to process doesn't rest. It looks for stimulation somewhere else, often in ways you'll start to notice as weird new habits. The fix at this stage is almost embarrassingly simple. A cat tree by any window, even a small one, or a rotating view, literally moving their bed to a different window every few days, is enough to keep this first stage from ever starting. But most owners never think about it, because on the surface, nothing looks wrong yet. 2. The stress hormone baseline quietly rises. This is the stage where things stop being invisible and start being physical. Cats denied environmental engagement show measurably elevated cortisol, the primary stress hormone, according to feline behavior research on environmental enrichment. And chronically elevated cortisol isn't just a stressed cat problem, it's linked to a weaker immune response, slower healing, and a higher risk of stress-related illnesses like feline idiopathic cystitis, one of the most common reasons indoor cats end up at the emergency vet with painful, blocked urination. Here's the part that surprises people. This rise in stress hormones can happen in a cat who looks perfectly calm. No hiding, no aggression, no obvious signs. Cats are prey animals first. They're built to mask stress, not display it. So the cortisol climbs quietly while your cat sleeps in the same sunny spot every day, and you assume sunny spot equals happy cat. Sometimes it's just the only stimulation left, not proof they're thriving. The fix here builds on stage 1. Rotating vertical space, a bird feeder placed just outside any window, or even a fish tank or bird video playing nearby can reintroduce the visual. Something is happening. Signal your cat's nervous system is quietly starving for. 3. Cognitive engagement starts to atrophy. This is where what happens to the brain stops being abstract. A cat's cognitive sharpness, problem-solving, curiosity, the drive to investigate, depends on ongoing novelty. Neuroscience research across mammals consistently shows that environments lacking stimulation lead to reduced neural complexity over time, particularly in regions tied to attention and spatial processing. Cats aren't exempt from this. An animal with nothing new to track, chase, or investigate for months on end essentially trains its own brain to expect nothing, and a brain that expects nothing stops reaching for anything. This is the stage where owners start saying things like, "My cat used to be so playful, now she just sleeps all day." And it's usually blamed on age. But a 5 or 6-year-old cat isn't a senior cat. What often looks like natural aging is actually understimulation dressed up as maturity. The tragic part is that this stage is often mistaken for a calm, low-maintenance cat, the good cat, who never causes trouble, when really, their world has just gotten quiet in a way that isn't healthy. The fix requires a bit more than a windowsill now. Puzzle feeders, rotating toys weekly instead of leaving the same 3 out forever, and short structured play sessions are what start rebuilding that cognitive reach. Music, and hey, if you've caught yourself calling your cat just lazy before watching this, hit like and subscribe. There's a good chance a lot of viewers watching right now needed to hear this exact stage explained. 4. Behavioral degeneration becomes visible. By this point, 5 years in, the internal changes start showing up as behavior everyone can see. This is where redirected aggression, sudden overgrooming, excessive vocalizing at odd hours, or compulsive pacing tend to appear. Veterinary behaviorists frequently trace these presenting complaints back to chronic understimulation once medical causes are ruled out. Overgrooming in particular is one of the most underdiagnosed signs in cats. A cat with nowhere to direct pent-up mental energy will sometimes turn that energy inward, licking a patch of fur down to bald skin. Owners bring this to the vet expecting allergies or fleas, and sometimes that is the cause, but a significant number of these cases are behavioral, rooted in an understimulated environment rather than a skin condition at all. This is also the stage where nighttime yowling tends to intensify. A cat whose daytime hours offered nothing to track or chase will often become more active and more vocal at night, when the house is quiet and their pent-up energy finally has room to surface. The fix at this stage isn't just adding a toy, it's rebuilding the whole daily rhythm. Scheduled play at the same times each day, actual hunting-style sessions with a wand toy rather than a static toy left on the floor, and yes, still bringing that window view back into rotation wherever possible. 5. The stage almost nobody talks about, learned helplessness. So what's the deepest, most overlooked stage of all? It's not aggression. It's not overgrooming. It's the opposite, a cat who simply stops trying. In psychology, this pattern is called learned helplessness, when an animal is repeatedly denied the ability to influence or engage with its environment, it eventually stops attempting to engage at all, even when the opportunity reappears. This is the quiet, invisible ending to the 5-year timeline. A cat who once would have leapt at a moved cat tree or a new window perch may, after years of nothing changing, no longer respond to it the same way. Not because they can't. Because some part of their brain has learned that trying doesn't change anything. This is the part that should genuinely worry you more than any physical symptom on this list, because it's the hardest to reverse and the easiest to mistake for a cat who is simply chill or well-behaved. A cat who has gone quiet from contentment and a cat who has gone quiet from learned helplessness can look identical from across the room. The only real difference is what's happening inside a brain you can't see. The good news, and this is worth holding on to, is that cats are remarkably capable of recovering with patient, consistent reintroduction of stimulation. It doesn't happen overnight, and it won't happen from one new toy or one repositioned cat bed. It happens from rebuilding, piece by piece, the same environmental richness a window once provided for free. Because at the end of the day, your cat doesn't need a bigger house or a wilder life. They need a reason to keep looking out at the world, and to still believe something out there is worth watching for.